recrafting and remapping Lok Sabha constituencies. The fact that 13% of the population, but they haven't lost their cultural identity.
Views expressed in this blog are hosted on my own website, are strictly personal and do not reflect the views of any organization.
Namaskar. Hello and welcome once again to Straight Bat, my weekly video blog, where, as the title suggests, I comment with a straight bat. Now, a few years ago, I asked a senior politician from one of the leading parties of the southern states what he believed was the biggest threat to the unity and integrity of the Indian nation. I thought he might say, as some leaders were saying at the time, that there was a deepening religious divide, Hindu versus Muslim. The fact that 13% of the population wasn't being effectively represented in parliament, that the BJP, the ruling party, didn't have a single Muslim MP, the fact that old religious disputes were being raked up across the country, that hate speech was being normalized, suggested to me that the fault lines that threatened the Indian Union were being shaped by religious polarization. Which is why I was a little surprised when the rather well-read politician suggested to me, no, Mr. Rajdeep, it's not religion that is the time bomb facing this country, but it is South versus North. More specifically, the leader referred to the likely delimitation of Lok Sabha constituencies post the census, which is now due in 2026. The centre wants to increase the political representation of the North at the cost of the South. We will never accept it, Rajdeep ji. It is against the federal spirit of India. This is how that leader spoke to me. Sure enough, delimitation, which basically involves recrafting and remapping Lok Sabha constituencies based on population, is now the latest political buzzword across southern states. And leading the charge is the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin. The DMK leader has an assembly election in a year from now and has been looking for an emotive issue to capture the poll narrative and make the electoral battle of 2026 Tamil Nadu versus the centre, Chennai versus Delhi, DMK versus Modi government. Which is why Stalin is claiming now that there is a conspiracy afoot to deny the South adequate political representation because the population growth rate is much higher in the northern states. Stalin argues that based on population figures, delimitation could mean that states like Tamil Nadu will lose out when the next general elections are held in 2029. Now, this is largely, my friends, fear-mongering, since the delimitation formula has not been unveiled yet. But the issue is emotive enough for the Union Home Minister Amit Shah, who was in Coimbatore, interestingly, during Mahashivratri, to clarify that any changes in Lok Sabha will be pro rata. That is, any increase in Lok Sabha seats for the Hindi heartland states will presumably also see a proportionate increase in the South. Stalin, though, isn't budging. He's a clever leader, which is why he's planning now to mount a legal and political challenge to delimitation and insist that there can be no change for the next 30 years in Lok Sabha seats. Stalin, as I said, is playing for high stakes. Other South chief ministers are also ready, it seems, to join in this campaign. Siddaramaiah of Karnataka, who's fighting his own power game for leadership with his own Congress party, and D.K. Shivakumar in particular, is happy to lend his weight to Stalin's campaign. So is Telangana's Revanth Reddy, who's desperately looking to boost his image nationally. And then there is Pinarayi Vijayan in Kerala, who's also facing an assembly election next year and also wants to play the Kerala versus centre card if possible. Only Chandrababu Naidu among southern chief ministers is not willing to bite the bait just yet, since he is an ally of the BJP. But he too can't be entirely isolated if the delimitation issue gathers more traction. But this, my friends, isn't just a political war between North and South anymore. there is a financial angle too. Here, Siddharamaiah of Karnataka is taking the lead, warning that the center is planning to cut the state's tax revenues from 2026. Karnataka is facing a possible financial crunch because of its various welfare schemes. And Siddharamaiah, who's the finance minister of the state, is pinning the blame, or at least part of it, on the center, claiming that the center and the Modi government are not sharing revenues collected from cess and surcharges with the states, while at the same time not releasing special grants promised to states under the 15th Finance Commission. Once again, the argument is that the southern states, which are the most economically developed and contribute the most to the tax revenues, along with the western India states of Maharashtra and Gujarat, are losing out because the monies collected through tax revenues are going to prop up the less developed Hindi heartland states. Once again, the target is the Modi government, which is accused by these southern states of seeking a greater centralization of resources. In the next few months, my friends, the southern chief ministers, except Mr. Naidu, are now likely to take a joint petition to the 16th Finance Commission demanding more equitable financial resource allocation. And there is finally another angle creeping in to this South-North divide, which is deeply social and cultural. Like it or not, the BJP is still seen as a Hindi, Hindu, Hindustan party in much of the South. In recent times, the BJP has tried to use Hindutva nationalism to build a pan-India narrative. But the party has only succeeded really in Karnataka and to some extent now in Telangana. In most of the rest of South India, the BJP is still seen as a party of the so-called cow belt, or as we say, the Hindi heartland. Hindi, in fact, remains a key sticking point, especially in Tamil Nadu. The Stalin government is now using the new national education policy's three-language formula to create the impression that the center wants to impose Hindi on the South through the back door. This anti-Hindi linguistic vision has a long history, and language agitations have singed Tamil Nadu from the late 1940s. Frankly, when I look at the new education policy, it does not make Hindi a mandatory language. But Stalin has managed to resurrect the Hindi versus Tamil bogey. Some would say dangerously so. Especially now as the other southern chief ministers, again with the exception of Chandrababu Naidu, are happy to join an anti-Hindi chorus. All of this means that this is not a recipe for building a more plural, united and tolerant society. Which brings me, my friends, to a larger point today on Straight Bat. For the last decade, Narendra Modi's government has built its political equity around its near total dominance of North and Western India. As a result, the fact is the southern states have lost their influence in Delhi. Don't forget, the DMK was part of almost every government at the center between 1996 and 2014, except one short interlude for a year when Jayalalitha was a BJP ally in 1998. Don't also forget that YS Rajshekhar Reddy was the one who delivered Andhra Pradesh to the Congress in 2004 and 9 and ensured that there was a Congress-led government at the center. Now Andhra is a divided state, and Tamil Nadu's 39 MPs don't decide government formation in Delhi any longer. Make no mistake also, Narendra Modi craves for more support from the south but wants it on his terms. In the north, he has managed, some would say, to virtually bully every leader and party into near total submission where he is the dominant figure. Only a few states now in the south and Bengal in the east are really holding out. Mr. Modi's mission south in 2024, when he made more pre-election trips to Tamil Nadu than any other state, especially after the Ram Mandir was built, did not quite work out, as I have explained and detailed in my 2024 election book. The problem Mr. Modi and the BJP face is that winning the South requires respecting its unique linguistic and cultural diversity. But the Modi model isn't quite built around diversity but uniformity and centralization. Merely wearing a veshti in an interview with a Tamil channel or visiting southern temple sites isn't enough to really win the hearts and minds of the people of southern India. There must be a willingness and openness to respect regional identities at all levels and then build trust with the local populace and its elites. Now I am told that there is a real strong possibility that the next BJP president, due to be chosen later this month, could well be from the south as a possible image makeover. Whether that actually happens, we will know in a few weeks. But what I do sense is that there is a gradual recognition within the BJP leadership that the party needs to do more, much more, to truly evolve into a pan-Indian party than just be talking the language of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas and then brush aside southern sensitivities. If the BJP, for example, spoils for a fight with the DMK as it did when Udaynidhi Stalin consciously targeted Sanatan Dharma a few years ago, there will be a pushback. Truth, my friends, is no longer can the South be caricatured as the land of lungi dancers as Hindi cinema often did, or the Southern accent be made fun of. The Southern states may have lost their political clout, but they haven't lost their cultural identity and their self-respect. Not yet, at least. That was the Straight Bat. Do, of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel for many more such informative videos. For now, stay well, stay safe. Jai Hind. Namaskar.